I'm gonna go ahead and call the September 24th, 2024 meeting of the Highfill Planning Commission to order. First item is we're gonna have roll call. Wayne. Here. Steve. Here. Megan.
Here.
And Alex is absent and Don is here. First item on the agenda is replat for Rausch Coleman Homes located at Northeast Hutchens Road for subdivision Woodward Park Phase 11. Rausch Coleman Homes NWA is asking for a review and approval for a replat and final plat of their development. Woodward Park, part of Phase 1 and Phase 2. The property is located Northeast Hutchens Road, Highfill. This replat and final plat includes lots 41 to 65, 78 to 83, 84 to 89, 102 to 113, 121 to 127, 128 to 132, 135 to 139, and 140 to 147 of Woodward Park Subdivision Phase 1 and all of Phase 2. The current zoning is R3. And Jeremy, have you got anything to?
I don't have anything.
Okay, well, I believe this is what we rezoned here not too long ago to give their duplexes being built in there. That's correct, right, Jerry?
Yes.
Their duplex is being built in there and they rezoned it so that they could to R3 so that they could build a duplex and then split it in half and sell the halves. So what they've done is they've come in and they've replotted those lots that they were going to split up and basically turned one lot into two lots so that each side of the duplex has their own lot.
Makes sense.
Okay, so is there somebody here representing this? You want to come up and state your name?
Yes, sir. Jesse Fulcher with Rausch Coleman Homes. You guys have it exactly correct. Just following up, we discussed during the rezone to allow them to be split into A and B lots so that we can sell each side separately to another.
So basically, there's not going to be any more buildings. You're going to build one building on the two lots, but you're just, when you sell it, you're selling halves of the building.
Exactly. From the outside, from anybody walking around, you couldn't tell if it was a duplex or townhouse, but somebody can come in and buy one half of that townhouse, own their yard, and have their own private property there.
Okay. Y'all have any questions about this, Megan?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so on the replat and so what we're going to do is we're doing the approval for the replat and the final plat, correct? Jeremy?
Yes.
Okay. For this development, Woodward Park, part of Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the lots I named earlier. I make a motion that we accept the replat and the final plat for this development. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Megan seconds it. Wayne?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
And Don, yes. Okay, so the replat and the final plat pass for that subdivision. Those items. Then we can just have one vote for both. Okay. All right, so moving on, next item on the agenda, rezone for Savannah Park LLC located at West Arkansas 12 Highway, parcel number 22-00014-000 and 22-00008-080. Savannah Park LLC is asking for a review and approval for a change of zone classification for their development. With the parcel stated as 58 plus or minus acres, the property is currently zoned R2 and would like to change the zoning to RN. This property is located along West Arkansas Highway 12. And we have the plat right here that was originally approved. The commissioners need to see it. And the purpose of the rezone going to an RN that was stated on the application is to reduce the building side setback line from 10 to 7 feet. So Jeremy, you don't have anything on this, right?
No.
Okay, so who's here representing this? Come up to the mic and state your name, please.
Devin Ross for Savannah Park.
Okay,
Yeah, the only thing it's doing is changing from 10 to 7. No property line, no pike, no street, nothing changes, nothing else. So just, we can put a little nicer, wider house. That's all.
so we rezoned this into what is about R two. And then we approved the preliminary plat, which y'all are already putting the roads and the infrastructure and utilities in. And now you're asking for an RN, so this is kind of out of the ordinary. Normally, when you start a subdivision, you don't rezone in the middle of it. So, you know, I guess one of my questions would be, I mean, I know the lots, when we looked at them and did them, they're 60-foot wide minimums. And right now they're 10-foot side setbacks, that leaves you 40 feet. But then the depths on them, most of them are like 120, 127, 128 feet deep, which are deep lots. I guess my question would be is if you're doing it to gain a little bigger house width-wise, could you just not build the 5 foot deeper into the lot without
Well,
having to change the side setbacks?
You can create the square footage that way, but like this will allow for more pop on the front, being wider instead of just a box. It will allow for possibly 3rd-car garage. 6 feet's a lot when it comes to that. And that's all we're looking for is to, you know, hopefully build a bigger house. You know, with either, you know, and make the contours and elevations look really good. That's what it should do.
So one thing we could do, if the planning commission wants to consider it is, it can be approved on condition that the minimum lot size remain 6,000 square feet, the minimum lot width remains 60 feet, which is what it
Yeah,
presently is.
the lot sizes will not change. It'd just be the side setback and that's it.
And that's,
It just allows 6 more feet. That's it.
What would happen if they get the infrastructure in and then for some reason decide to sell the subdivision?
well, that's why we have a condition, that would be a condition of the rezone. Is that minimum lot size is 6,000 square feet, minimum lot width is 60 feet regardless of the RN zone
Forever,
forever.
for eternity.
We just talked about instead of a variance on the whole subdivision to rezone. I thought it'd be easier and to get that. It's just completely an oversight, guys. 100%. I'm not gonna say anything else. That's what it was. 100% oversight. It was long 2.5 years.
What, I guess another thing I'm curious when they were doing this, buying that property, which they obviously paid a lot of money for.
Yeah.
Doing all the research and everything, what led you to believe at that time to do R2 that put them in at
It wasn't
60 feet?
discussed. That's the problem. It wasn't discussed and I didn't catch it until later on in the process. And I'm like, well, I mean, it's not gonna change a thing if we rezone or get a variance. Like I said, so I was like, man, we need to try to make a better looking house if we can. So that's what we're trying to do.
Jeremy, on going from a 10-foot side setback to a 5-foot side setback, is that to the overhang or the block line?
It would be to the overhang. I mean, I said it's 7 foot setback.
7 foot.
It's
Yeah,
seven.
not 5 foot. 7 foot. It allows 6 feet overall, 3 feet on each side.
To the overhang. So the distance between the block lines of the two houses lot beside each other, instead of being 20 feet, that's 14 feet minus your overhang, or plus your overhang. Does the commissioners have any questions about this or anything?
And I know this isn't the other places. It's just right now as a builder, we just, you know, we need to make them get all the space you can that you can use, but pretty common everywhere for 7-8 foot side setbacks. Like I said, it was just overlooked from the beginning.
But with that larger setback, you're still planning on having the same size of house or bigger house?
Both. we'll do next.
So if we would go with, as council has suggested, the 6,000 square feet, you'd be okay with that?
The 6,000 square feet, it works. It just with the width, you can, get more of a
More
front
of the front.
elevation to make it look
I mean,
nice.
you've got plenty of room to go back if you so chose.
Correct, I do. It just would be more of a, more of a box to get a third car garage, if you could even do that, and stuff like
If
that.
we have little cars.
Little cars. Golf carts.
I don't have anything for, thank you.
All right, not good?
So you'd have no problem if this was passed on condition of no more lots being able to be added, the 6,000 square foot minimums in place.
Oh, yeah, I guess we're not changing the thing. They're going full blown. They just left.
The 60-foot width, okay,
Everything's perfect, yes.
okay, all right, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up for public hearing. Is there anybody here that wants to get up and speak on this? Anybody?
Can I speak from the phone?
Sure, go right ahead.
Hi,
State your
I'm
name.
Denise Etris. I'm Denise Etris. I'm representing the Holland Revocable Trust. Our property is next door to the Savannah subdivision. So just so I'm clear, what this is going to do is it's going to allow for a nicer home, not a smaller home, but the setbacks are going to be less, correct? It's going to be more compact.
What it means is the actual size of the lots will remain the same if this was to be done. The actual the size of the lots would remain the same width, same depths, they would not change. No more lots would be added. And what it would basically do is the side setbacks from the side property lines, instead of being 10 feet from the property line, you can go to 7 feet. So instead of having 20 feet between the houses, 10 foot on each lot, it would be 14 feet, but it wouldn't be adding any more houses.
Okay. We were concerned that it was going to be, that it would be adding more homes so that, you could put more in there, but I understand what he's saying.
Yeah, there are no more homes. It's not zero lot line. They can't replat and it would have to stay right like it is. So if this was to go through.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions or comment?
No, just the comment is we're just looking out, we have 3 or 4 acres right there and a nicer, bigger home. So not wanting to be, have our home devalued for having smaller homes and and more homes close by, I guess.
Correct. Okay, thank you.
I did want to also say, could we not put in conditional use as well? That a future developer, say if it's sold or what have you, could not replat this.
Well, I think what Jay was saying, and he can correct me if he's wrong, if we passed it on condition, it would be on the condition that it would have to remain
married to this property forever.
It's gonna remain 6,000 square foot lot and 60-foot lot widths, which is what's required under the current approval.
Of R2.
Under the current R2 zone. And we would place in the approving ordinance that's a condition of the rezone.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a record.
So if somebody else bought it and they came in and said, hey, this is zoned RN and we wanna do what RN allows us to do, it's too bad.
And we would also ask that those conditions be placed on the final plat, so that'd be a checklist item for you. So the 6,000 minimum square foot lot size and the 60-foot width be noted on the plat that's gonna get recorded.
Right.
So it couldn't be changed.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like her. I'm just kind of watching out for neighbors as well to make sure that
Okay.
the lots do stay.
Yeah,
Six
no,
lots.
I agree.
That's all I got.
Okay. Megan, you got any comments?
No, I do not. I mean, that's a sacrifice side, larger home, nicer home versus more condensed, like what she said, just they're closer together, but there's not more of them. So it might be advantageous.
You guys got anything? No,
makes sense to me. I mean, it makes a little bit wider house, a little nicer, gets you a little bit bigger backyard.
Yeah, my opinion on this is that if, as Jay said, which, you know, we could attach this to approval, and that it would be filed with the final plat and be attached to where it can't be changed even if it's sold. You know, I don't see the disadvantages of it. I mean, you're taking a 10-foot side setback to a 7, but I mean, in all reality, that's not gonna really show a lot from the street. You
You're
know,
looking at 6 foot difference. I mean, that's
yeah,
not-
I mean, most subdivisions nowadays, a lot of them are 7-foot side setbacks. So, you know, I don't really think that would be a detriment. And, you know, it would allow for a little bit bigger, wider building, which would actually look better from the street instead of it being very narrow. So that's my opinion. So I'll make a motion that we approve the rezone to RN with the stipulation that the 60-foot wide width lot line of the R2 zoning and the 6,000 square foot area of the R2 zoning can be attached, continue even with the RN zoning, and that it will be noted on the preliminary or final plat and filed with the county so that no matter what happens, if this is sold down the road, if it's not completed, it may be RN, but they'll still have to keep it 60-foot wide at the street and a 6,000 square foot area also, which is what's required in R2. So the only advantage would be the smaller side setbacks. Did I
Second,
say that right? I got a second from Wayne. Okay, so we'll vote. Wayne,
yes,
Steve,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes,
and Don, yes. So the rezone passes with those stipulations and will be noted on the final plat. And
Thank you very much.
that's where we'll go. All right. Thank you. Last item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of July 23rd, 2024, which are at the back of your packets. I'll give y'all a minute to look at them, look through them. Does anybody have anything they want to add or take to from the minutes?
I don't
Any changes?
know. Sir.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes in their current form for the July 23rd, 2024 meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Megan seconds. Wayne,
yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
and Don, yes. So the minutes are accepted. Does the commissioners have anything new they want to bring up or talk
I do
about?
not.
Okay, since there's no new business, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Steve seconds, Wayne,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes,
and Don, we're adjourned.
thank you.
Thank y'all.
Good. I was on the verge of being late.